What if I told you that everything you've ever tried to beat insomnia, counting sheep, drinking calming teas, the brutal effort to clear your mind actually just threw more fuel on the fire? What if the real reason why I can't sleep echoes in your mind night after night is because you're fighting the wrong war with the wrong weapons? The brutal truth is that insomnia isn't a lack of sleep. It's an overabundance of alertness. Your brain isn't broken. It's protecting you so efficiently that it has become your nocturnal jailer, leaving you perpetually tired. You are not failing at sleeping. You are succeeding at staying alert. This is the great paradox that neuroscience has finally unraveled. To shut down your brain, you have to stop trying to shut it down. In this video, I'm not going to give you more sleep tips. I'm going to hand you the instruction manual for your nocturnal brain, revealing the exact circuit that's holding it hostage and the protocol to finally deactivate it. The solution for how to sleep better isn't about fighting harder, but about understanding the game. And your first lesson starts now. The brain in a state of alert, the hyperist brain. The experience of someone with insomnia begins with a brutally lonely realization. It's 3 a.m. The house is silent, and the brain is louder than it was at noon. You toss and turn, cursing the ceiling, and asking yourself, I can't sleep. Why? This isn't just a simple lack of sleep. It's a feeling of betrayal by your own body, a realization that there's an internal force that refuses to obey the most fundamental desire to rest, leaving you feeling broken. From a neuroscience perspective, this isn't a mystery. It's a clear diagnosis. The brain is stuck in a state of hyperarousal. Think of your autonomic nervous system as having two pedals, an accelerator, the sympathetic system, for fight or flight, and a brake, the parasympathetic, for rest and digest. The brain of someone who is chronically tired has its foot slammed on the accelerator even when the car is parked in the garage. It is physiologically scanning for threats that don't exist. The best analogy for this condition is a faulty car alarm. A good alarm only goes off for a thief, but a faulty one blares at the wind, the rain, or a passing cat. The brain of someone who is sleeping poorly works like this. It interprets the residual stress from the day, an unanswered email, a bill to be paid, as an existential threat. The brain keeps you awake not to punish you, but to protect you from a danger that only exists in its neurology. This constant state of alert is the fundamental reason for morning exhaustion. It's like leaving a car's engine running at high RPMs all night long. But this hyperarousal, as powerful as it is only part of the story. It acts as an emergency override system, a deafening noise that prevents the brain from hearing the two natural, fundamental signals that, in a healthy system, should be guiding the body to sleep almost magically. The internal war of sleep drive versus the clock. To understand how to sleep better, you must first understand that sleep isn't an on-off switch, but the result of a perfect alliance between two powerful forces in your brain. Think of them as two generals who must coordinate an attack. When they work together, sleep is an inevitable victory. But for someone with insomnia, these two generals are shouting orders that no one is obeying, because the panic general from the previous topic is sabotaging the entire operation. The first general is your sleep drive. Science, through countless studies, shows us this is governed by a chemical in your brain called adenosine. Imagine adenosine as sand accumulating in an hourglass for every minute you are awake. The more sand, the greater the pressure to sleep. This is why coffee works. Caffeine, as demonstrated in studies published in the Journal of Neuroscience, works by blocking adenosine receptors, basically preventing your brain from seeing how full the hourglass is. The second general is your master biological clock, circadian rhythm. Located in an area of the hypothalamus called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, this is the conductor of your body's orchestra. It dictates when you should feel hungry, when you should have more energy, and, crucially, when you should start to feel sleepy, regardless of adenosine. The work of researchers Jeffrey Hall, Michael Rosbash, and Michael Young, which earned them the 2017 Nobel Prize, revealed the exact molecular mechanisms that govern this internal clock, proving it is a real and powerful biological force. The core problem of insomnia is that the hyperarousal brain we discussed earlier creates such deafening noise that the body simply can't hear the orders from these two generals. You can have an hourglass overflowing with adenosine, feeling completely tired, and your master clock can be screaming that you're sleeping late. But the panic general keeps the army on high alert. And if, in the midst of this chaos, you decide to consciously intervene and try to force sleep, you're about to find out that you're unintentionally handing a new weapon to the enemy. The effort paradox is the paradox that haunts every person who has stared at the ceiling at 3 a.m. The more desperately you try to force sleep, the faster it runs away. The bed, which should be a sanctuary of rest, becomes a stage for performance anxiety, where the phrase, "I can't sleep," becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Every turn on the mattress, every glance at the clock, is another piece of evidence of an impending failure. Turning the night into a battle against yourself, neuroscience gives us a clear biological explanation for this. The act of trying to sleep is a function of your conscious mind, the prefrontal cortex. However, sleep is a process of the primitive brain. When you exert effort, your amygdala of the brain's threat detector interprets this anxiety and effort as a sign of danger. In response, it triggers the release of stress hormones like cortisol, which is the direct biochemical antagonist to melatonin. Essentially, the conscious effort to sleep sends the body the signal, "Stay awake. There is a threat." This phenomenon is so well known in sleep medicine, it has a name: psychophysiological insomnia. It's a learned condition where the brain creates a conditioned association between the bedroom bed and a state of frustration and arousal. The best analogy is trying to catch a shy cat. If you run after it, it will bolt. For it to come to you, you must create a calm, safe environment and wait for it to approach. Sleep, just like the cat, cannot be hunted. It must be invited. Therefore, this paradox turns the mind into the primary saboteur for anyone seeking how to sleep better. The bedroom becomes a trigger for wakefulness, and the person gets stuck in a loop where the anxiety of sleeping poorly is what guarantees another sleepless night. If even our conscious intention sabotages us, imagine the power of the signals we send our brain without even realizing it. There are silent saboteurs in your bedroom that are screaming, "Stay awake." To your biology, the silent saboteurs in your room answering the previous hook directly, the signals you send to your brain, unconsciously, are often more powerful than your conscious intention to sleep. Your primitive brain, the part that actually controls sleep, doesn't understand your anxious thoughts, but it perfectly understands signals from the environment. For many people with insomnia, the bedroom has stopped being a sanctuary for sleep and has become a cockpit full of buttons that activate the alert state. The most potent saboteur is light. Studies published in the journal Nature showed that specialized cells in our retina detect light, especially blue light from screens, and send a direct signal to the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the brain's master clock. This signal commands the pineal gland to suppress melatonin production. Looking at your phone in bed isn't just distracting. It's the biological equivalent of sending an urgent telegram to your brain that reads, "Urgent, the sun is up. Abort sleep operation immediately." The second saboteur is temperature. Sleep science, as detailed in publications from the Journal of Sleep Research, is clear. To initiate sleep, your body needs to drop its core temperature by about 1 to 2 degrees Celsius. This is an ancient biological trigger. A room that is too warm forces your body to fight against this process, actively working to cool itself down, which is a state of effort, not relaxation. It's a primary reason for sleeping poorly and waking up multiple times during the night. Finally, a late meal, especially one with carbohydrates, can raise your body temperature and blood sugar, signaling activity time, not rest time when you're sleeping late. Now that we understand the hyperaroused brain, the warring systems, the effort paradox, and these saboteurs, the diagnosis is complete. The question now is, what is our battle plan? It's time to learn how to sleep better, not by fighting harder, but by fighting smarter. Now you understand the game. Insomnia is no longer an invisible monster. It's an understandable circuit. The hyperaroused brain, the warring systems, the effort paradox, and the environmental saboteurs. The map of your nocturnal battlefield is in your hands. Neuroscience has given you clarity, but clarity without action is just entertainment. The real question is, what are you going to build with this new power? This is where our community comes in. I want to know, of the 4 enemies of sleep, we revealed the brain on alert, the war of the systems, the effort paradox, or the saboteurs. In your room, which one do you feel steals your nights the most? Answer in the comments. Let's turn this section into a fortress of shared strategies. And if this brain manual we've assembled together has given you a new sense of hope, the way to thank me and spread this message is by hitting that like button. But understanding the why is only half the battle. The other half is the how. And if you're ready for action, you will not want to miss our next video, where I will give you the 20-minute protocol to shut down your brain. Yes, you heard that right. I will show you the exact sequence of 3 actions that take less than 20 minutes, which signal to your primitive brain that the threat is gone and it is finally safe to sleep. To make sure you don't miss it, subscribe now and turn on notifications. Your first night of peace could be just one click away.